There are 14 female Democratic senators in the U.S. Senate. 13 of those 14 have already endorsed Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton for president. One female Democratic senator has not endorsed Hillary Clinton. Her name is Elizabeth Warren. Hillary Clinton now boasts endorsements from 38 of the 46 Senate Democratic members, which is about 83% of that caucus, according to the Chase, U.S. News's political tracker. Senator Bernie Sanders, the Vermont independent who caucuses with Democrats, has not yet landed a single endorsement from a colleague. No Republican candidate has more than 3 Senate endorsements. But at issue today, and what I want to discuss with you, is that Elizabeth Warren has not endorsed anybody yet. And this is interesting for a number of reasons. Number one, of course, we have the gender element, and many making a lot out of the idea that Elizabeth Warren, although a woman like Hillary Clinton, actually has much more in common politically with Bernie Sanders. And I don't think there's any doubt about that, Lewis. There's no question that on politics, Senator Warren is far closer to Bernie Sanders than she is to Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I think that much of what Warren, if you look at what she's been lobbying against, the big banks, Wall Street, we know Hillary's connections there, and clearly they don't jive. And I don't think we're going to hear that endorsement, but she hasn't endorsed Bernie either, right?
No, and asked about Elizabeth Warren, a Bernie Sanders campaign spokesman named Michael Briggs said, quote, he's known her and admired her since she was a mere Harvard professor. They speak all the time. And Senator Warren has sort of danced around questions of endorsing Bernie Sanders or endorsing anybody. She publicly has been very positive about Bernie Sanders, fighting for what she believes in, as Lewis talked about, many issues related to big business and banking and minimum wage, et cetera. But she has also avoided any direct criticism of Hillary Clinton. Does this matter as far as impact? Probably not. Endorsements are of unclear value. An endorsement from one senator is likely not to make a very big difference at all, even if that senator is Elizabeth Warren, who is seen as one of the top progressives today. But it is very interesting because it continues on what is sort of speculated to be a tenuous relationship between Elizabeth Warren and the Clintons. The Clintons have, by every estimate, viewed Elizabeth Warren as a sort of political threat for a long time. Former President Bill Clinton reportedly declined to campaign for Elizabeth Warren's Senate race in 2012. And the bigger issue is, of course, the conversation around why this is a story for some and for many. And this is kind of sad to me. The big story here is, well, why wouldn't a female senator who's a Democrat endorse Hillary Clinton, who is a female Democrat running for office? And I think the answer is that it's about much more than just gender, right? It's clearly about political issues. And there's this caricature of, oh, women just want to vote for someone based on their gender if it's a woman, which was disproven with regard to African Americans voting for Barack Obama because he's black. There was Herman Cain. We now see Ben Carson, and there is no rush from Democrats to support someone. I'm sorry, there is no rush from black voters to support a candidate merely because they are black. So I actually think the gender story is not the right story through which to analyze this.
No, but it's sad that there are those groups. We saw this last election cycle. The groups of women, probably numbering in the thousands, maybe tens of thousands, who were only supporting Hillary because she was a woman. Voting because she would, right?
You're saying they exist.
They exist.
There are
Right?
people who will support any candidate for identity politics reasons. They may support the evangelical Christian candidate as opposed to the Catholic or Baptist because that is their religion, or they may support Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders is Jewish, for example. That exists, but I think the idea that the identity politics alone are going to propel someone to victory, that is what seems to be increasingly harder and harder to believe.
Well, it's yeah. I don't think that's going to be the case. Your gender is not going to win you an election, but Dave, it will, in Hillary's case, get you thousands and thousands of votes. Just based on
Although
that.
maybe not, according to some, as many as Bernie Sanders is getting from at least female donors. But we'll talk about that story probably more tomorrow.